I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by my co-host with Harrison Bader like hair,
Yeah, it's a weird ordeal. Katie is just proving to be childish.
which is why I don't feel I would give $5 million to Jack Campbell.
I don't know. Baseball is one of those sports where anyone who makes the playoffs really can be a contender.
I think the Padres definitely do it.
I don't think Donovan Mitchell gets traded.
Kyrie Irving does have the track record of not being a great locker room fit, or even good locker room fit.
Bader got some luscious locks. I gotta say it.
This is Zach Bigley, the broadcaster for the Frisco Rough Riders, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin. You guys better subscribe.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and here comes the sun. Oh, wait. That is just Austin. The Suns were swept by the Timberwolves. Austin, what do you think?
Are the Suns doomed?
Yes.
Does that make you happy?
Not. I feel bad for their fans, but also, this kind of makes me feel right. We knew this wasn't. To me, it was a long shot for it to work, especially when you go trade for Bradley Beal. If they had gotten depth on this team, I wouldn't have hated it. Booker and KD would have been, I think, a good combo with a lot of depth, but they just didn't go that way. So, and I think it's more fun when you have a competitive team and a deep team, unlike super teams. But it could be worse. Except they were in the finals. It is sad, but the Mavs do have some history with the Suns. However, the Mavs are also struggling right now, so I can't really dance on the Suns and talk too much because the Mavs could lose this series.
No, but I'm sure you did hear that that KD is not happy with how the offense was run, that he was standing in the corner too much. Not many sets were used to fulfill his offensive potential. And I agree. I thought that the way they ran their offenses was grade school-esque. Just a lot of ISOs, not many actual plays being run like the Timberwolves were running. And you do need some ISOs in your game. The Mavs, a lot of great teams use them. But it can't be your entire offense. You're not going to be any great defensive team like the Timberwolves like that. And the Timberwolves exposed them completely, and now the Suns are going home. I don't know what the answer is because you've made so many moves to get rid of all your guys. You're paying Bradley Beal so much money. Booker so much money. KD so much money.
You gave up so much for KD. That's why I feel like KD gets traded.
And Beal was given away with a lot of pick swaps to the Wizards. While they didn't give away any picks, it was pick swaps, meaning that the whatever the higher of the two picks is, meaning closer to number one, the Wizards will end up getting until 2030. So I don't know. This is a big problem, and I think that I think I agree with you. I wouldn't go so far to say they're absolutely they're never going to win a playoff game in the next 5 years, but I would say that I've heard I keep seeing on Twitter that Devin Booker wants to be a Knick and KD is going to get traded and all this other stuff, but it seems like the writing is on the wall.
Yeah, I feel like they trade KD. As much as I'm not a huge fan of Booker, I can't see him out of a Suns uniform. I don't buy the Booker to Knicks because I don't get. There was a journalist what sources are there? The guy hasn't even talked to Booker, so how does he know that he wants?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily know, but
KD,
I could see him wanting out. I could definitely see it because I don't see the future of the team.
Yeah. I think the future of the team is trading KD because who's the most valuable asset on this team right now?
Booker.
Kevin Durant.
I think it's really? Booker because of his age.
That's a good point. Would you trade both?
And just have Beal?
If you trade Booker, you gotta trade Kevin Durant. I think you trade Kevin
Durant. I don't think so. It depends what you trade Book for, I feel like.
But wouldn't Kevin Durant be I'm out? I don't want to be.
It's not really a rebuild when you still have Jusuf Nurkic and Beal. I'm not saying Jusuf Nurkic is great, but he's definitely not a bum. And you still have Grayson Allen, who was on a championship level team with the Bucks. You still have a multi-time All-Star in Beal. You would get a lot for Booker if you were able to trade him for like very highly rated first-round picks and were able to draft guys in the next couple of drafts that were actually great. Maybe, but I don't know.
I don't feel like Kevin Durant wants to wait. I feel like Kevin Durant wants to be on a contender every year. So I think he's going to be like, I'm out. That's my view of Kevin Durant. Like how long has he waited on a team since Golden State?
What's your definition of waited?
Like how long has he had a good season then a bad season? Has he had multiple bad seasons before he leaves a team? Because the Nets had one bad season, then he left, right?
Season when he didn't play
Yeah.
because he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's up to KD to decide. I don't know if even winning is enough for him. Besides winning a title, obviously. But I don't think he wants to go to just a good team or even a great team. I think he wants to go to a top 4 team in the league.
He wants to go to the number team in the West. Hear me out.
I don't know about that.
That's why I'm kind of smiling. Like, I feel like he goes to OKC. Because it works for both sides. OKC, because the problem with is emptying up your like draft load. The Thunder have amazing picks. Like they wouldn't lose picks on their own. So even if it went bad, they'd still be able to reload. Unlike the Suns, like we just went over, the Suns don't have anything to reload. And you can see it with the Nets too. They have nothing. But what would it take to get KD? 4 picks?
I don't know. It depends on how long he makes it hard on himself because he knows people know that he doesn't want to stay anywhere for long.
But would you do it if you're OKC right now?
They're about to sweep the Pelicans. I don't know. Do they need KD? We still have to see how the rest of the playoffs go.
It's true. Okay, so what happens if they except Thunder play the Mavs, so Thunder may not play the Mavs.
The Mavs have to beat the Clippers first.
Mavs have to beat the Clippers. And like that's still So that's okay. But what happens if the Nuggets go and win the second championship like I have happening? Or the Nuggets just look unstoppable?
Make the conference finals. I don't think you made a trade for KD because you still have so many young guys that why don't you just take another year? You're going to have to trade some actual players to match salaries, Kevin. You have to match salaries. So you have to trade some actual guys along with your draft capital.
Could they trade Gordon Hayward?
I thought he was a free agent this next year. I thought he was just off the books.
Okay, then maybe that's it.
I don't know if that's enough.
Like, what would they give up? Like, I don't think they give up Shea. They don't give up Chet.
It would have to be Jalen Williams.
Oh, man. And Jalen Williams.
Him and Giddey, probably.
Okay. Giddey is on a pretty sizable contract, right? Or am I thinking...
I don't think I don't think he's that sizable. Let me see.
I feel like there's a contract.
No. Yeah, $6.5 million and $8.3 million over his next. Or so this year's 6.5, next year's 8.3. Gordon Hayward is a unrestricted free agent after this year.
Okay.
And he would free up $31.5 million. 31. But I also think Shea's contract increases next year.
Yeah. I feel like the Thunder can lose draft picks, but they would also have a lot of draft picks to go get players. And not because the biggest thing right now with the Suns is the new CBA really restricts everything to where they can't go over this luxury tax so much, and then they lose players compared to like the Warriors, like when KD was on them. So, because I'm not sure I would have the same feelings for every other team that got KD because they'd be losing assets. But there are so many assets from OKC that I don't think they would feel the trade, but they wouldn't like they could still get young players. That's my view. And it would be cool if he went back to OKC. And it'd also be
Yeah, I feel like that's part of the reason why you want it to happen.
But also, they are a number one team. It's not like when Chris Paul got traded to the Thunder.
But in the same respect, KD did them dirty once. I don't know if do you want KD to come back riding the coattails? This is different from LeBron. Yeah. Because when LeBron left, the Cavs were running things in a poor manner. They were not giving him help. The next year after KD left, Russ was an MVP. He had MVP teammates, all-star teammates. LeBron's best teammate in 2010 before he left to go to the Heat was Mo Williams. LeBron was the reason why they were finals candidates. And while KD was definitely part of it, he wasn't the only person on that team that was great. They still had Serge Ibaka, and they still had Russ. That's almost a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and that's an MVP winner. Mm-hmm. KD left destroying what the team would be. LeBron left leaving nothing because there was no one there was no one to fill the void. They still made the playoffs the year after KD left.
That's fair. No, I feel like OKC could do it. Or, I just had this thought. Knicks get KD.
But, I thought about that, but KD already dogged the Knicks when he mentioned why he wouldn't go there because he was going to go to the Nets. He was talking about how all these young guys you've never heard of, the Knicks aren't ready. They're not cool anymore. The Knicks ain't cool. Ready now. He said the Knicks ain't cool. Why would Knicks fans want to have him on their team?
I feel like they should have a short memory, and they would have a short memory if you get KD.
Again, they're up 3-1 in their series.
What other team has he not dogged? Like, what other team has he not dogged where they're like, yeah, we want you? Memphis?
What about Cavs?
Maybe. Could see Cavs.
You trade Mobley and one of their more expensive guys, and you still have Garland, Mitchell, and Jarrett Allen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult.
What about the Bucks?
Bucks would be crazy, man.
I feel like the Bucks could do it. Trade Dame.
Trade Dame.
I don't know if Dame still has a no-trade clause or not. And if he does have no trade clause, you may have to give up Chris Middleton. But I think he would give up Chris Middleton for the KD experience.
Yeah.
Or the Sixers.
Sixers. That could be. I like it. But I feel like OKC, they could do it, and they would. Because you would just gut your team to get KD, and I don't feel you would gut the Thunder because they have multiple first-round picks.
The match contracts. And in that case, you do have to get rid of guys who are worth a lot.
But you could also use picks to trade with other teams to make it a 3-team trade, right? And then send contracts.
You could, but other teams would have to be willing to give you KD. Because if you're the Mavs, you're not going to be a part of that 3-team trade because you don't want to be a part of the reason why they got KD.
Or if I could get rid of Tim Hardaway Jr.
I don't know how a trade would look. I'd have to actually look into it.
Yeah. But that's my view. Knicks would be funny. Knicks would be fun because, like, you and I've had this conversation when we hung out during our trip to visit Jake. Like I said, if the Knicks somehow got KD and Brunson was still there, I think they could go to a championship. Like, I don't you remember me telling you that? Because that would work.
Do the Knicks believe that?
I feel the Knicks believe that. Yeah.
Why can't they go to a championship this year? They're the 2 seed and they're up 3-1 right now.
Because I don't think Brunson's that guy. Like, that's my.
The Knicks do. Okay, let me put it this way: the Brunson just dropped 47-10 on the road. He's the first player in NBA history to have 85 points and 20 assists over a 2-game road playoff stretch. NBA history. No one has done that before. The Knicks think that this is their guy. They don't want Brunson as a number 2. He's led them to the 2 seed. That's a higher seed than the Mavs have ever been with Luka.
That's true. The Knicks do have a well-built roster. Like, they do have some nice depth, which I think they could keep if they got KD.
What you're saying, but I don't know if the Suns will be happy with whatever they get because they put themselves in such a bind.
Yeah, I think you have to trade a player though. You can't run this back. You can't be like.
I feel like they could, but I feel like that's another midseason trade of KD waiting to happen.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see. Any final thoughts before we close this out?
Nope.
Thank you all for listening. Let us know. Do you have other destinations for KD? Are you a fan of Team OKC, Team Knicks, different team? We appreciate you listening. We'll keep you updated. Hopefully this doesn't stall free agency. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.